Hello everybody and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons! Today we got from Sable, we got 2 Taylor's tickets. She really liked us wearing her outfit. Do you buy clothes, Steven? Sometimes. Saw this when I was out shopping and thought it'd go on your body because they made it with holes for your body to fit through. Hope your body fits inside of it. You like my surprise present? Do the holes fit? I don't know, man. I haven't even opened it yet. How would I know of the let's see, a striped shirt. That's so close to what Simon wears. He just wants me to be him. And, you know, Simon lives a pretty carefree life. I don't think I'd mind being him, but, like... I don't really much care for striped shirts, that's the thing. Just gonna put all this stuff away, may as well even put that away. So yeah, again, I don't overly know what to ramble about, but I'm sure I will find something. There is something kind of channel-related I can talk about, but it's not a huge amount of topic. Also, geez, I really need to actually be sitting up today. I keep moving the webcam around, and it's causing problems. So, I'm thinking, after I finish Undertale, of doing some experimenting. Now, you might be like, what do you mean, kind of experimenting? Well, okay. At this point, if you were to look through my videos, they got quite the chorus going on up there for Diva. Good evening to you. Don't you love an evening walk squeak? One chat. Sometimes nighttime can feel lonely, so I'm glad I ran into you. Oh. I will let them continue singing for now, while I head into here and put money in the bank. Yeah, if you look at my channel right now, you'll see that the extra video series, which is currently Undertale, very underperforming. Now, there could be multiple reasons for this. It could be there's too many other people making Undertale videos, which, let's be real, it's Undertale. There's gonna be a ton of people making Undertale videos, probably even a lot of other fresh Let's Play series going on. So, that could easily be the explanation. Because I'm a pretty small creator, that basically means that anytime I do something, if I try to jump into a popular thing, it doesn't work very well. Hello, Muffy. Hello, Steven. How you doing, Nightshade? Let's chat. Life here is pretty rad, Nightshade. I mean, it's not perfect, but what is? Diva? Diva's pretty perfect. Alright, Serrano, you're singing for Diva. I'll talk with you. Nice just getting started. One chat. I wonder how much walking I've done this island so far. Was it close to setting a record, Squeak? There's a scorpion. Guys, there's a scorpion. Hi, Steven, Bigfoot. It's the latest. Wonder what my parents are up to. Should probably give them a call. Yeah, I mean, you could. Might be a pretty good idea. But yeah, what I'm thinking of doing is for probably a week or two after Undertale ends, I'm thinking of trying to stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as well as Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So basically I'd be streaming Monday through Saturday. Just having the Monday, Wednesday, Friday streams probably be a bit shorter. Because streams, for the most part, always perform. Even Final Fantasy XIV ones. They tend to perform. And I could still be doing the same content I'm doing for video series, just as streams. I'd also get through a lot more games if I streamed more often. Like, I'm sure there's probably a few of you who like watching my streams, but maybe don't want to be watching Phantasy Star. So it would basically allow me to continue doing Phantasy Star, you know, 3 days a week, while also, and geez, I am having just a scorpion day. I should probably catch a scorpion to give to Flick. He would probably love that. I mean, it is just a scorpion, so. And I can use the slow approach trick to approach it. let's try this. This is gonna take a hot minute, but, you know. You know, I've always wondered, do scorpions actually hiss like that? Because that can't just be a RuneScape thing. Because Animal Crossing does it too. So, you know. But yeah, like, it would give me an easy way of, like, continuing Monster Hunter without feeling like I'm going to be trapped into doing Monster Hunter Rise for, like, the next year. Because, you know, 3 videos a week is a fair few videos in the run of a year, but each hunt in Monster Hunter is about half an hour. So, it's basically 1 video per hunt. You know. Alright, turnip prices, boys. 132. Ooh, tomorrow might be amazing. Okay, I definitely need to catch the morning price tomorrow. Problem with that is it's hot as frick. And I know I'm probably not going to be able to sleep because it's hot as frick. I've literally got my fan in the window trying to bring some level of slightly cooler air into the room. It's not working the best. You can tell I'm downright glistening with sweat. So yeah, not fun. I'm definitely gonna try to get to bed, probably early tonight, because, well... Oh, there's my shovel. I do want to shower tomorrow before I stream. So, which would mean showering before I record in the morning. So, you know, I need to be awake pretty early for that. The plus there is I'm already feeling kind of tired, but I've also got a lot more I need to do tonight. Because I have been procrastinating. You might be able to guess what I need to do. I need to record Undertale. The thing I said I was going to record 6 episodes of a little while back, I recorded 2. Mostly because of the heat. I'm going to admit, it was basically because of the heat. And it's only hotter now. I was kind of hoping, given there'd been multiple risks of thunder showers, that we might actually get a thunder shower. And it would cool off, at least a little bit. Hey, old Pinky. Super evening, blah. Watch out. Hi, Steven. You'd hang out with me? Always. So what are we gonna do? I'm gonna bonk this rock. You're doing yoga? I'm gonna be trying to start doing yoga here soon. I've been trying to find, like, a free resource, basically, that I can use for doing yoga. And I had a friend suggest a YouTuber to me that, I'm gonna be honest, when I first poked this YouTuber's channel, the first thought through my mind was, I'm gonna feel like such a perv, but that's just what I need to expect. Like, I already went through the motions of that, of like, because, like, every YouTuber I can find doing anything yoga-related is generally female and generally wearing the tightest yoga pants you've ever seen. So, you know. That's gonna be a thing. But yeah, I just figured I'd let you guys know that I'm thinking of doing that experimenting. I'm not sold on if I'm gonna do it yet, though. So I might continue the extra video series, I might not. Because I don't know why randomly some videos just don't perform. Like, in general, my videos seem to get around 10 to 15 views, which I'm perfectly happy with. But, like, in the past, you know, little while, like less than a week, I've had 2 Undertale videos massively underperform. And I don't know why. Because it's not like YouTube tells me, you know. And I'm at such a low view count for everything that really even 0 isn't terrible, you know. It's definitely a lot less than I would normally get, but that is all in percentages. In raw number of people, you know, there's very few of you who watch me, but I'm glad you guys do. I'm pretty okay at cooking. It makes me a little nervous when you watch me so closely. What you making? Making my specialty. It's cookies. Alright. Cookies are pretty easy. Pretty nice thing to specialize in. You can customize the crap out of cookies. Like, I think I'd rambled about that before. Like, there's so many things you can do with a basic cookie to just customize it and make it your own and make it, like, freaking amazing. Because, like, you can add chocolate chips to your cookie. Ta-da, chocolate chip cookies. You can substitute in some peanut butter somewhere and make some peanut butter cookies. They probably won't be as soft as a dedicated peanut butter cookie, just adding peanut butter to a, just regular sugar cookie, but you can still do it. Nothing's stopping you. You know, you can add frosting to them, make some frosted cookies. So much you can do. Cookies are real blank slates when it comes to, like, snacks. I suppose I can ramble about one thing. The Stop Killing Games initiative has now had a big gaming interests lobbying group in the EU release a letter being purposefully misleading about what the initiative is trying to do, and purposefully trying to mislead people on why the initiative wouldn't work, exactly as people figured was gonna happen. Which, quite honestly, you know, I'm sure there's some people who will hear that and be like, oh, that sucks. Like, no, that's a good thing. Because we now have confirmation that the initiative would work. That it would save gaming. Because otherwise, they wouldn't care. Evening, BLT. How's your neck going? Let's chat. I'm off to patrol Astera. Steven, I'm leaving that sector over there for you. Alright. It's just beach over there. Don't really need to patrol the beach. So I'm gonna come say hi to Gala. Because I can. Hope she's not gotten sick. Nope. Just chilling. Come on in, Steven. My home is your home, Snorty. Wanna chat? It's so weird to love an object. I'm basically in love with my double sofa. It's my favorite place to study or write, or it's just so perfectly comfortable, Snorty. I could imagine. It looks pretty cozy. But yeah, they basically, in their response to the initiative, one, completely misrepresented what the initiative's even asking for, to the point where even, like, Ross could sit there and go like, yeah, no, this isn't what we're asking for. I mean, he's able to do that with anybody, because he knows what they're asking for. But you know what I mean, like, he's not a lawyer, and even he can sit there and be like, yeah, good job, this doesn't matter, because we're not asking for that. You know, and then basically just pointing out the incompetence of it, of, like, this big conglomerate, this lobbying group, basically making the argument that, well, games can't be made to have end-of-life plans. Period. They just can't. They can't do it. They cannot be made with end-of-life plans. Steven, I just wanted to say thank you for always being there to help Label. She talks about you all the time, you know. She says the outfits you pick out are always super inspiring. Then she runs back here and starts sketching furiously. It's wonderful to see. That's so much for all three of us. Thank you from the roots of my quills. So, you know, that game you're probably playing right now, assuming you're playing a game while watching this or listening to this, yeah, there's no possible way it can work when the developers aren't supporting it. It's impossible. It's It's impossible for this to work because Nintendo no longer sells it. So this just doesn't work anymore. That's impossible. This just doesn't work. You can't make this because this... They didn't have internet for this, so you can't make... This doesn't exist. This just doesn't exist. What do you want about? Like, that... I was holding nothing. Because it doesn't exist. Because it's impossible to make a game that can run after the developers stop supporting it. Oh, I'm glad I ran into you. Feels like I've been looking for you forever. But anytime off my couch feels like forever, so it might have only been a few minutes. Anyway, found the thing you were looking for. You know, the mariachi clothing? What? What do you mean, what? I want it. For real. Oh, I got in my head you were looking for that, so you can't, not take it. I mean, I didn't want... That's what I mean by what? I didn't even ask for it. Hey, man. Thanks. I guess. I got 3 fossils. Have yet to encounter Flick. He is here somewhere, apparently. Like, the arguments this lobbying group are making is just asinine. As you'd expect, like, it's in their vested interest that nothing change. Even though, if you think about all of this logically, if you put on your thinking noggin, you know, wouldn't a game being purchasable and playable forever be better than a game that gets shut down that you can no longer purchase? We live in the digital age. The only reason a game ever needs to not be for sale is if the developer destroys it, basically. Like, I could make a game, apply to get it put onto Steam, pay to get it put onto Steam, and then just leave it for the rest of time at like $1. And you know there'd be people coming along periodically just buying that game because hey, it's just $1. Anytime it goes on sale, people would probably pick it up even more because hey, now it's only like 20 cents. Why not pick it up? And it would just be a constant little stream of income I could have just having that game there. Whether I'm actively updating it, supporting it or not, it would just be there, existing forever. Unless Steam goes under. In which case, well then I just need to not put all my eggs in the Steamed basket. You know, I could also put it on Good Old Games, Humble Bundle, Epic, the Microsoft Store. You know, I could apply to have it put literally everywhere. So that it's just always there, always generating money. Because that's the thing that a lot of investors, which are the ones who are running these lobbying groups, don't think it's game developers in these... No, it's the investors. It's the shareholders. It's the people who have nothing to gain if gaming, you know, changes, basically. And they have everything to lose if gaming changes. Like, you would think that they would look at this and go, wait, you're right. Why are we letting the, you know, games that we could be selling die off? The answer there is because they want to use cheap middleman software that they don't even have the license for. You know, this license needs to be purchased because heaven forbid a game developer make their own engine these days. That would be crazy. That's crazy talk. You don't make your own engine anymore. So you gotta license all this crap. And all that generally requires a constant online connection to function. which is where a lot of Always Online comes in. And the developers can't use that middleware software without having to pay money for it every time they need to renew their license, which is generally when a game shuts down. You know. Good evening, Steven. To think, here I am, popping in for a cup of Brewster's Fine Brew. Life here can't get much better. Yeah. I mean, I got water, but, you know. Water is pretty nice. Yes, time to head back. Yes, enjoy your coffee, Nook. If they don't end up calling a cafe at some point the Coffee Nook, that's a wasted opportunity. But yeah, like, you would think they would look at that and be like, oh man, but the thing they're doing is going, but having developers build all that themselves would be more expensive and thus make games less profitable. So we can't have developers designing their own stuff anymore. That's too expensive. You can't do that. Are you crazy? And like, a lot of the old, like, game engines, like, take Source, the Source engine. That was almost certainly, I don't know what engine it would have been built off of, but probably built off of another engine. Or at least built off of a programming language. Probably taking heavy inspiration from another game engine. Oh, jeez, I'm so gassy. I apologize. So, like... Select. Let's do that. And that. I don't know why I did it that way, but there we go. But like, you know, a lot of the old, basically in-office built engines were built off of other engines. And even in a case of, let's imagine for a moment you get Valve using Source, well, it's Valve's engine, basically. Well, let's imagine I have my own game studio and I decide I want to work out of Source. So I buy a license for Source from Valve. I then customize it. I go into that engine and I modify it to make changes that I want to see from that engine. So that I can basically do what I'm trying to do within the Source engine. That's how it used to be. There was a few base engines, and even those were more or less just copies of each other. They weren't really uniquely built, for the most part. But those engines would get licensed out and to developers, and then those developers would modify the game engine to suit their needs. These days, they just buy a license to an engine and then hammer that square peg into that round hole, which is where you get horribly optimized games. It's where you get games that don't feel like they belong in the engine they're in. Like, I have legitimately encountered multiple sprite-based JRPGs built in Unreal Engine 4 or 5, one of the latest Unreal Engines. They run like dog water. They are terribly optimized because the engine just doesn't work well. But that's the license that company had, so that's just what they did with it, rather than, one, finding an engine that actually serves what they're trying to do, and two, modifying it to make it work better. You know, one of the big things that makes Unreal Engine 5, I believe it is, the newest Unreal Engine, I believe that's 5, What makes it run so bad and have such poor optimization is forced DirectX 12. So modify the engine to run in DirectX 11. Ta-da, there's your performance issues solved. For the most part. You'll probably have to modify the engine further to, you know, make it actually run smoothly in 11, or, you know, just buy an engine, you know, buy a license to Unreal 4 that ran in DirectX 11, or go with Unity, which runs in DirectX 11, but even then, Unity's not great for RPGs either. You know, if you want to make a 3D game, sure, 3D RPG, go right ahead. But if you're going for like a 2D RPG, you really don't want either of those engines, honestly. You'd much rather have something that's a little more down to earth, and I actually don't know an example of a modern RPG engine. Something like, you know, Game Maker. Or, there was a scorpion there. I just got jump scared by the scorpion. Wow. I think that's the first time I've had a jump in a while. Well, that's because I wasn't expecting it. That's the fun thing with me and getting scared. If I'm playing a horror game, I expect it. So I don't get scared. Playing this, I was not expecting there to be a scorpion behind there. Honestly, my brain initially went, oh god, tarantula. But I don't think tarantulas are around right now. I should actually just keep my net away. Then I don't have to worry about that. I was not trying to shake that tree, and I'm glad there were not bees in it. But like, okay, Horn Dynastad. Hate to hear it. I'd hate to hear it honk that schnoz. Okay. That's the bug I keep scaring away. So, yeah, that one. It's the only thing I have to donate to the museum now, so Blathers is gonna hate it, but, you know. I could go put my wetsuit on and go do some diving. Might get something new doing that. I've almost certainly got enough bugs to make a decent little profit from Flick. I see another bug. There we go. Miamasag. But yeah, like, Game Maker. That's a pretty good example of an engine for making a JRPG, especially a sprite-based one. You know, and I'm pretty sure there's probably an updated version of Game Maker. You would be surprised how many games in the past were made on Game Maker. Like, professional games. Because an engine's an engine. You could hand a game developer just about any engine, tell them to make something, and they can probably make it. It may not be the best, but they can probably make it within whatever engine you hand them. Legitimately, I have seen somebody, just to prove they could do it, make a first-person shooter in RPG Maker. Let that sink in, any of you who have used RPG Maker. Someone made a first-person shooter. It was very Doom-like, but that's what you'd kind of expect. It's a very basic engine for anything outside of RPGs. But it's a game engine with scripting, which means you can do anything you want. Like, it's really not even all that difficult when you really get down to it, if you know what you're doing. You are basically scripting your entire first-person shooter yourself, but you can make just about anything in RPG Maker, because it's a game engine. A game engine's a game engine. You could probably make a pretty bad first-person shooter using, you know, RenPy. Python in general. Some programming languages are not suited for things. Ruby is one of them as well. Like, you really have to go very basic to make this stuff work. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. There we go. Moon jellyfish. Gotta find a sun peanut butterfish. Nah, it's just an ocean sunfish. That's the sun variant. It's pretty, not good. Man, I'm just rambling about game engines now. Sea urchin. Wasn't even urchin for it. But yeah, that's more or less my rebuttal to that lobbying group saying that, oh, it's impossible to do. But no, it's not. And quite honestly, games would be better in general and be worth more if they just stopped. Like, giant gigas clam. I may as well go donate stuff. I've been going for like half an hour now. It's hot, guys, and I need to record a lot today, so I hope you'll forgive the shorter episode of just me rambling about games. But like, I do hope that you guys are also as frustrated about that response as I am. Like, even more so, just logically, if a game can be sold forever, it will always make money. But here's the reason why shareholders don't care about that. That shareholder, after a while, stops getting money for that game. So they don't care past a certain point. Whoops. Wrong thing. I have donation. Like, let's say if that shareholder has in its agreement that it'll make money off of, say, you know, Dongle's Quest. I don't know what that is, I just made it up. You know, they'll make money off of Dongle's Quest for 5 years. After those 5 years are up, say Dongle's Quest is an always online experience, even though it's a single player game, or even, let's say it's an MMO. Dongle's Quest is an MMO now. Once those 5 years are up, the shareholders are going to be going, hey, shut that down. Because we're not making money from it anymore. Shut down Dongle's Quest. We don't care about Dongle's Quest. Get rid of it. You don't need to be doing that anymore. And that's where a lot of games get shut down. Okay, let's see here. I do got a scorpion. And a emperor butterfly. So that's like 5,000 on its own. That's also probably 5,000. I'm gonna say 18,000. 25,000. I was gonna say 20,000, but I thought that was too high. Jeez, Flick, you're just rolling in it, my man. How do you got the inventory for all this? Well, may as well put this money away. But yeah, like, that's why they're acting the way they are. Quite simply. It's because the shareholders really just don't care. Like, it's also why indie games tend to be better. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's because indie games don't have to care about shareholders. The games industry going public and allowing for investors and shareholders was probably a great idea at the time. It's not so much anymore, though. Like, that just kind of goes with any company going public, though. It definitely will sound like a great idea on paper. Because on paper, you go public, people can invest in your company and what you're doing. You get a lot of money right away because you went public. You are now completely beholden to those shareholders. You better not disappoint them, or else they'll take their money back. Because that's not your money, that's their money. You're just holding on to it for them. With the promise that you're going to use their money to make them more money. They don't care if you make money. All they care about is they're making more money. So the moment you stop making more money, this year than you did last year, you're going to have investors pulling out left, right, and center. You're going to go bankrupt pretty quickly because those investors don't care. They're going to move on to that next company. Screw them over too. Gaming should have never gone public. No business should go public, if I'm completely honest. I'm going to soapbox a little bit here at the very end of this episode, but if a company goes public, they're basically signing their own death warrant unless they basically hold almost monopolistic control of whatever they're trying to do. Let's even use a big example like Microsoft. Microsoft is a publicly traded company. If Linux, an open source, privatized operating system, were to ever actually grow popular enough to start pushing, let's say, 30 to 40% market share, Microsoft's going to be losing a lot of money. A lot of its shareholders are going to be backing out, leaving, trying to buy pieces of Linux even though they can't, realizing they can't, and then moving to a different industry altogether. Because they'll be watching their money burn as people stop using Windows. The only reason Microsoft hasn't gone under being a publicly traded company is because it's held near monopolistic control of PC operating systems. If you want a computer, pretty good chance it's running Windows. Even if you're a tech guy, pretty good chance you're running Windows in some capacity. Most Linux users have a backup of Windows because there's some things that just don't work on Linux. You need Windows. The only people who don't are Apple fanboys, and that's because they're so dead set focused on what Apple does that Apple holds a monopoly over what they care about. Apple's fine. Apple's also a publicly traded company. As much as I would love, to see it, this is never going to outsell an Apple phone. Even though this is probably functionally as good as most of the lower end Apple phones. Apple holds a monopoly. They can afford to be publicly traded. Meanwhile, look at most businesses that fail. When did they fail? Usually after selling and becoming publicly traded companies. Because unless you hold that monopoly, eventually you won't make more money than you did last year. And your shareholders are going to pull out. And you can't stop them. It's their money. They'll leave whenever they want. The only hope you could have to keep shareholders on board in those situations is to sell them more of your company. To the point where eventually you might be a minority shareholder of your own company. Just to keep investors happy. At which point they're probably going to use their majority power to kick you out and replace you with somebody else that they think can do better. Anyone watching this who owns a company, please, for the love of everything, don't go public. Don't do it to yourself. You will just be dooming your business. It is not a good idea at all. But yeah, I'm going to get off my soapbox now and actually end this episode off. I thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you back here next time for more Animal Crossing New Horizons. See you all then! And now in this end card, I'd like to ask, if you liked the video, could you maybe hit the like button? And if you're not subscribed, could you maybe subscribe? It helped me out a lot. Thanks a bunch.